Hello and welcome to Enjoy English School.
欢迎来到 Enjoy 英语学院。
I'm Stevie.
And I'm Laurie.
Today we're looking at part 2 of our business English lesson, Asking for Help. Now, yesterday we had two people. We had Irene and Tim. Irene was new to the company, and she talked to her colleague or her coworker, Tim, about doing the quarterly report. She's never done it before, so she was asking Tim, how should I do this? And he was giving her information and saying, don't go too long. And the people who did it before used a pie chart. And so he gave her information, and she was going to go work on it at the end of the conversation. Today, we're going to find out more about that conversation.
没错，所以今天来到我们的第2天哦。那么昨天呢，这个 Tim 已经帮助了这个 Irene 啊，在他要做的这个季度的销售报告上面，很多的这个指示，很多的建议啊。那么今天我们要来看看呢 ，Irene 她的报告进展的怎么样？所以我们赶快一起来看看吧。
Asking for help. Dialogue B. Tim walks by Irene's desk and stops to say hello.
Hey, Irene. How's the report coming along?
I just finished. I was actually about to go find you. Would you take a look at it?
Certainly. Let's see here. You have a pie chart and several well-organized slides. However, I do see an area that could be improved. Your pie chart's data has no order.
What do you mean?
Here, let me show you. Do you see how the size of this section is bigger than the other ones? Well, this isn't ideal because it makes the information difficult to read. You should organize the figures from the biggest value to the smallest.
Oh, I see. That makes a lot of sense. Wow, that does look much better.
Here's another tip. Have your biggest value start from the top, like the number 12 on a clock, and have the following information flow in a clockwise direction.
Okay, let me move things around really quick. Oh, I see what you mean. All the information looks very organized and easy to read. I'm feeling pretty confident about giving the report now. Thank you again for the help.
Don't mention it. I'm sure you'll do well.
Okay, so yesterday, Irene walked up to Tim's desk, right? Well, today, Tim walks by Irene's desk and stops to say hello. So he's just walking by and, oh, hi, Irene.
对，就这样。所以这是我们今天对话的情境啊，就是 Tim 呢，他走过经过 Irene 的桌子，然后呢，他呢就停下来打招呼。
So Tim says, hey, Irene, how's the report coming along? Now, coming along just means, how's the report going? How are you doing on the report?
对，没错。所以呢，这个时候 Tim 呢，一开始他就先说 ，Hey Irene 啊，那你的报告呢进展的怎么样啊？Come along 呢，它有很多的不同的意思跟用法，但是在这里的话，它指的是那个进展、那个进度啊。所以呢，就是刚刚 Stevie 老师说的，你的报告呢现在怎么样了 ？How's it going？ 这样的意思。
Now, in old movies in English, you might hear a teacher saying to their student, come along. This means follow me.
对，跟着我过来，这样的意思。
But when somebody said, how is something coming along? It just means, how's it doing?
进展的怎么样？进度如何？
Right.
这样。
So Irene says, I just finished. Oh, good. I was actually about to go find you. So, 其实 I was, because I'm finished, I was planning on looking for you.
对，所以呢 ，Irene 就回答他说：“我刚刚完成了我才刚结束然后呢，我呢，事实上正要去找你。这里的 be about to， 你把 actually 先遮起来的话 ，be about to 就是正要正要干嘛干嘛干嘛。然后他加了一个 actually， 我事实上正要去找你呢。”
Would you take a look at it? Will you do this? Would you do this, please?
对，然后他就很有礼貌的问他哦，那么请问你可不可以看看这个东西哦 ？Look at it， 那个 it 指的就是我做的这个 report 啊，你可不可以看看我的报告呢？
And Tim says, certainly, just, of course, yeah. Well, when he says, let's see here, this is something that we use, like, now he says, certainly, so he's holding it.
对
Okay? So he says, certainly, and he picks it up and he goes, let's see here. He doesn't mean, 你看这里, okay? He doesn't mean, let's see, look here. He's just saying, oh, let me see. Let's see here. 这是很口语的。
对
You have a pie chart and several well-organized slides. Slides are what PowerPoint uses.
对
Okay? So he says, all right, you have the pie chart. We talked about that. You have several, meaning a few. Well-organized means, oh, okay, it looks like you organized these very good, very well. Slides. And again, a slide is what PowerPoint uses. It's just a picture, and we call it a slide because it goes, shoo, and you see another picture.
对
That's why it's called a slide, because it slides over.
对，滑过去
Yeah.
这样，OK， 所以呢 ，Tim 他就回答说，当然没问题 ，Certainly 啊，没问题啊。然后他说，来，我们来看看吧。然后呢，他说你呢，已经这个有用了一个这个圆饼图，然后还有几张呢整理的很好的 ，well organized 啊。这里的话呢，用一个中间的小短线把它连起来，变成一个形容词就是整理的很好的投影片，就是 slides， 就是刚刚呢 Stevie 老师讲的我们因为是这样一张一张滑过去，所以那个 PowerPoint 的投影片我们叫 slide。
Yeah. And he's still looking at it, okay? However, I do see an area that could be improved. There's an area where you could do better.
没错。所以呢，他说然而呢，我确实看到这里的 I do see， 那个 do 是一个强调语气我确实看到了有一个地方是可以被改进 ，be improved， 改进改善就是 improve 所以我有看到一个地方是可以更好的。
Yeah. And then he tells her what the problem is, what she could improve.
对
Your pie chart's data, and you can say data or data. They're both okay.
都可以。
Your pie chart's data has no order. When we say it has no order, this just means 没有什么顺序
对
right?
对
There's no order here.
对，所以呢，他就指出那个地方了。他说，你的这个圆饼图的资料，你的圆饼图的这个数据呢，是没有顺序的，没有照顺序这样的意思。
So Irene says, so now Irene looks again. What do you mean?
对，那因为 Irene 不懂，所以他就问他，你是什么意思呢 ？What do you mean？
And Tim says, here, let me show you. So he's showing her, okay? Let me show you what I'm talking about.
对，所以呢，他就说来这个让我这个展示给你看，让我呢告诉你的意思让我告诉你你的什么地方没有照顺序，那是什么意思？这样。
So he asks her a question. Do you see how the size of this section, again, he says this because he's pointing at something. Do you see how the size of this section is bigger than the other ones? So he's looking at her pie chart, right? Do you see how the size of this one is bigger than these other ones?
对，所以呢，接下来他就是拿着这个报告指给他看，他说：“你有没有看到这个 this section 是这个部分的这个 size， 就是它的大小呢，是怎么样的？比其他所有的 the other ones， 注意它有一个复数其他部分呢都来得大所以呢，这个是他看到的问题。
Yeah, and here this section just means this part.
对，这个部分。
Yeah. Well, this isn't ideal. And when we say something is not ideal, we mean it's not the best way you could do it.
对。
Okay, it's not the best way. It's not ideal. Well, this isn't ideal because it makes the information difficult to read. It causes the information, it causes us to have a difficult time understanding the information. So it makes the information hard to read. It's difficult to read.
所以他说，那么呢，这样this 指的就是前一句前一句讲到的这个部分的这个数据呢这个部分比其他部分都来得大，这样的一件事呢，并不理想 ，isn't ideal 或者就是刚刚 Steve 老师讲的，这个并不是最佳方式，因为呢，这样呢，会使得这些资料呢。更难被阅读difficult to read 就是呢被阅读是有困难的。
Yeah. And then he says you should organize the figures from the biggest value to the smallest. Now, whenever we're talking about a business report or something, figures usually means money. Okay, figures is usually numbers.
对。
All right.
数字
because figures are numbers that have been calculated.
被计算过的数字
Yeah. So you should organize the figures from the biggest value, so the most money, the biggest value, to the smallest, so that we can see, so it's not all over.
对
We should see big numbers going to small numbers.
对，所以他就告诉他的重点，他说你应该要呢组织你的这些数字你的这些数据呢是把它从这个最大值一路排到最小值，这样子的一个组织方法。
Yeah, so Tim is still helping her. Very nice.
对
We're going to take a quick break right here and come back and finish our dialogue for today. So Tim just showed Irene, well, this isn't the best way to do it. You should go from biggest to smallest numbers. So Irene looks at what Tim is showing her, and she says, oh, I see. So this means I understand, but she's seeing it. 她也看到了。
对
So this is I see means I understand, and yes, I see what you mean. Okay?
对
I see. That makes a lot of sense. If something makes sense, that means it's something that's easy to understand. It makes sense to us. I can understand that.
对，所以呢 ，Irene 她就回答 Tim 说：“哦，我懂了，我明白了，而且呢，等于刚刚 Stevie 老师讲的，我也确实看到了然后呢，他就说了，这样呢，确实是合理多了。Make sense 是合理的意思，那 make a lot of sense 就是它合理的多了。
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Wow, that does look better. So as
Much
she's
better.
talking, or much better, thank you. As she's talking to him, she's probably changing it on her computer.
Doing it at the same
Yeah,
time.
she says, okay, all right. Wow, that does look better.
Much better. 好
Much better.
对，所以呢，然后呢 ，Irene 她就边做边改所以呢，就像刚刚 Stevie 老师讲的，她一同时在弄完了之后，她就说，哇，这样子确实看起来好的多的多了所以这里有两个强调语气，一个是 does look 的 does， 还有一个是 much better 的 much， 两个都是在 emphasize， 就是哇，这个确实看起来好多了耶，这样。
Yeah. And Tim says, here's another tip. Okay, he gave her advice yesterday. He gave her lots of advice. So I'm giving you more advice. Here's another tip. Remember, we're talking about a pie chart.
对
So a pie chart is round. It looks like a pie or a clock.
对
So he says, here's your other tip. Here's another tip. Have your biggest value, your biggest number, start from the top, like the number 12 on a clock. Have your biggest number on the top here, and have the following information flow in a clockwise direction. Now, to flow, actually, I don't know how to say that in Chinese. 是流吗？
虽然它原本通常我们是讲流，但是这里的话应该可以讲说照顺序排下来。
Okay.
这样子。
So, but we're talking about flow because it's like a river or like paint moving. It moves in one direction. And clockwise, we call it, how does a clock move? A clock starts at the top, and the hand moves to the right and then goes around. So that's called clockwise direction.
顺时针。
Yeah. If it were the other way, we would call it counterclockwise.
对。
Yeah, counter, C-O-U-N-T-E-R. So have your biggest number start at the top and then flow clockwise around. And your chart will look better.
好，所以这里呢，我们一起把它讲完哦。Tim 呢，他就说这里还有另外一个诀窍，另外一个这个小妙招哦。这个 tip 就是这个意思哦。什么诀窍呢？就是 have your biggest value。这里的 have 你可以翻成让，你也可以翻成使哦，使你的最大值或者让你的最大值怎么样呢？开始于顶端啊 ，start from the top。然后呢？就像这里的 like 是像的意思，就像这个时钟的那个12的那个数字一样，所以是在最顶端，然后再让这里又有一个 have 让呢剩下来的这个资讯 following 是接下来的那些资讯呢 flow in a clockwise direction， 所以呢就照着顺时针的方向让它这样流下来。那什么意思？就是让它像顺时针的方向这样陆续的排下来。
Yeah, from biggest number to smallest number.
对，从最大的排到最小的，就像他前面讲的一样。
And remember, Irene is working on her computer. So Irene says, okay, let me move things around really quick. So this means, okay, I'll change it really fast.
对。
Okay? Oh, I see what you mean. So again, I understand and I can see it.
对，没错。所以呢 ，Irene 她说好的让我呢很快的 ，really quick 很快的呢 move things around， 把这些东西都移一移因为呢可能这个要移到这边，这个要移到那边，所以是 move things around， 赶快把东西移一移。然后接着她说我懂你的意思了，而且呢，她也确实的是看到了她在讲的意思。
Now she says she's telling him what she sees. All the information looks very organized and easy to read. Yeah, it looks better.
对，没错。
Much better.
Much better. Thank you. 所以呢，他就说了，所有的资料、所有的资讯呢，现在看起来呢，非常的有条有理，叫做 organized， 因为整理的很好，所以是有条有理的，而且呢，也很容易来读。
Now she says, I'm feeling pretty confident about giving the report now. I'm feeling I have confidence in myself. I feel good about giving this report now.
好，所以呢，他说这个 I'm feeling pretty， 这里的 pretty 不是漂亮指的是 quite， 就是相当的我感觉相当的有自信来这个对于什么事情呢？对于要来做这份报告 ，giving 这里不是给的意思，但是它其实跟给的概念是相同，就是我要来上台做这份报告，那当然就是要给大家知道嘛。所以呢，这里有一个动词 giving， 那这里的 confident。它是 T 结尾，那是指有自信的，它是形容词。但刚刚 Stevie 老师也用了另外一个是它的名词 confidence， 所以是 CE 结尾的那个是名词，两个都可以用
Yeah. Thank you again for the help, Tim. Thank you.
对，然后他还不忘记谢谢他所以他说再次的谢谢你给我的这些帮助。
Tim says, don't mention it. No problem.
对
I'm sure you'll do well.
OK， 所以 Tim 就说这个不用提啦，那什么意思？不用提就是说不客气
Yeah.
然后他说我很肯定你会做得很好的。
Yeah. 免客气啦。
免客气。
Okay, so, all right, it turned out well for Irene.
没错。
Now we're going to take a quick break and come right back with today's words and phrases. Okay, so looking at our vocabulary and phrases, we first looked at coming along. How's it going? How's it coming along? So, how is it? We could say progressing.
对 ，good word.
Yeah, progressing. Coming along. 2, slide. And a slide on a PowerPoint is called that because it slides. We also learned the word or talked about the word improve, to make something better. We learned section. A section of something is a part of something. Also, the ideal of something means that the best part, the best way to do something, or 这是最理想。
对
For something to make sense, that means this is something I can understand. My brain, I understand this. It makes sense. We also learned the word flow. Well, the word flow can be a noun or a verb, like the way a river flows. We use it that way as a verb. The river flows. The river's flow would be the noun.
The noun, 对
Yeah. And of course, we learned the word confident. It's always good to believe in yourself. Be confident. And I think those are all of our words and phrases for today. And we're going to see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.